Great goal. Dion Dublin. Classic header. No more than Coventry deserve. They've been knocking at the door, and now they've found the way through.
It goes towards Best. It's 1-0 to Coventry. The man in the mask has broken the deadlock. Jamie Allen threads the ball through. Fantastic finish from Matty Gordon. Barely 90 seconds gone.
Very good evening to you all. Welcome to another edition of Sky Blue Fans TV on this Thursday evening. Let's hope for some nice goals like that we've just seen on Saturday would be nice. We've got a few guests lined up for you this evening, including a Hull City fan, Corben. We've got Miles and we've got Mark Smith as well. So let's get on with it, shall we? We've got quite a lot to discuss. We're also going to discuss the Fans Forum as well, which took place on Tuesday night. Fantastic evening where we spoke to McNally and McFasdean, who was fantastic with the supporters. Record attendance, I think there was on Tuesday night. It was a complete sellout. So we've got plenty of information about that. We've also got a competition, which we've been running to win tickets to see Neville Staples. And we've also got a couple of other little bits and bobs which we're going to squeeze in throughout the evening. Right, let's get going. Let's bring in our guest, our regular guest, Mark Smith. How are you, Mark?
Evening, Ken. Yeah, good, thanks. Evening, everyone. I hope you're all well.
Yes, good evening, mate. How are you? You all chilled, ready for Saturday?
Can't wait. Yeah, it's it's just looking forward to the game. It's been a busy week of work for me personally, so really looking forward to seeing catching up with some friends and hopefully seeing 3 points for us on Saturday.
Yeah, let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. Miles, how are you?
I'm all good, thank you. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening.
All good. Busy week, just like Mark.
Yeah.
But just trying to do a little bit of a chilling out now until Saturday.
The snow
Going
hasn't.
to see Tom Grennan tomorrow night, so it's not going to be chilling out at all, is it?
You'll be all excited about that. I mean, the snow hasn't stopped you, has it?
Nah, definitely not.
No. That's good. Corben, a Hull City supporter. He's going to come in now. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
How are you, mate?
I'm doing good, thanks. I'm doing good, thank you.
What's the weather like up there, up north? I know it's very snowy down here.
Yeah, well, we had some snow this morning and a bit last night as well. It's been slippy as well. Not as much as probably what you've had and what the rest down south have had, but it's been cold. Yeah,
well, luckily it's mainly all turned into slush now, so there's no danger of the game on Saturday not taking place because it's all slush and water now. So just plenty of floods. That's the only problem we're going to have now. So, hopefully, it'll be a nice wet pitch anyway, I think, on Saturday. There could be a lot of sliding about.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's get into it straight away then. Let's talk Hull City, shall we?
Okay.
And let's just decide on what sort of team you expect to put out then on Saturday, Corben. I mean, are you going to make any changes from your team you've had lately? Because I mean, you have had a few decent results, haven't you?
Yeah, we on Saturday we beat West Brom 2-0.
Yeah, great
Friday,
result that one.
Friday night, yeah. We've had a few injuries. One of our main midfielders, Seri, he took a knock in training, but he was back on Monday, and our manager, Liam Rossini, he's confirmed that he's in contention for the game. Seri, absolute great player, great midfielder. He knows how to pass the ball well. He knows how to get himself into space. I think we're going to play maybe a bit more defensive. I can't mention commentary about Gyökeres. He's been class so far, so he's definitely going to be one of the people we're going to have to be looking out for.
Big Vic.
Yeah, Big Vic.
How about your the guy that scored the hat-trick against us early in the season?
Oscar.
Yeah, he was very nice, because I was at that game, along with Miles was there as well. And I think he probably his easiest hat-trick he's ever scored all season, isn't it?
Yeah, currently our top goal scorer on 12 goals. Yeah, kind of slowed down on it now. But we all have strikers all have the kind of on and off forms.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think all the goals was from inside the 6-yard box, weren't they?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, really. I mean, and since then, obviously, we've come on quite a lot, because we've got like 17 clean sheets behind us, believe it or not, and we were conceding goals like that at the start of the season. So we didn't have a great start. We didn't. So it's been a bit up down for us, really. What sort of players are you going to look out for on our team? I mean, who's going to concern you apart from Big Vic? Is there anybody else?
Big Vic.
Like the main one.
So a couple. Jamie Allen. He's another one that's stuck out.
He's not going to be playing.
Is he not?
No, we got Sheaf out injured. We've got a lot of host of midfield players out injured, unfortunately. So it might go in your favour, but you know we've had a horrendous time with injuries. Got Callum O'Hare, obviously. He got injured on Boxing Day against Sheffield United. Yeah. He's out for the season. We won't see him again all season. Got Ben Sheaf out. Kelly as well. Our skipper, he's been out most of the season with long-term injury. And I say Jamie Allen's got an injury, and Casey Palmer as well. All midfield players. So we are lacking in midfield, if you like, from the team we'd normally put out.
Do you think that's going to be something?
Well, I mean, it could. Yeah, I mean, we beat Huddersfield last weekend 4-0, and we had the same players out. We got a couple of youngsters come in. You know, young Howie played, and he had a great game. He's come from the academy, and we've got a couple of lads on loan from Arsenal. One from Arsenal, one from Man City. So, you know, they're only young lads, and they're very sort of naive at times, but they've come in and done a decent job, to be fair. So it should be interesting. Miles, what do you think team-wise on Saturday? The Cobb.
He probably won't change it from last. He probably won't change it from last season, will he? To be honest with you, last season, last week. I mean,
last week. I mean, week. you were
a miles away. Yeah.
Young Howie did brilliantly last week, didn't he?
He did very well. Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about the way Hull beat West Brom. I mean, it was a good result for them. I think it was last Friday night, wasn't it? And I think and their goals that they scored is the sort of goals that we have conceded this season with balls coming into the box. I think one of them was a header, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken, am I right there, Corben?
Yeah, I think you are right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the worry for me is the crossing this weekend. Have you got a throwing specialist at all, Corben?
Yes, we do. Our Australian left back Callum Elder, he can throw him well long. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have conceded from long throws, haven't we, on set pieces? That's a bit of our downfall.
I mean, so have we, and that's one of the parts of Liam Rossini, our manager, has been trying to eradicate from our game. Our set pieces conceding. But since he's come in, and we've been solid since he's come in. He's got rid of that. We've conceded less from set pieces, and we look an awful lot good when we're attacking them.
Yeah. Mark, what do you think of Hull so far this season? They've had a bit of an up and down season, haven't they, Hull? And do you think they can cause us problems Saturday?
Yeah, I think they can do. I think it'll be a hard game. I don't think it's not a game we shouldn't be underestimating Hull. I mean, bearing in mind they beat us obviously early in the season, and they beat us last season at the CBS. I think they're a team you can't underestimate. But it's the same with any game of football. You've got to be up for the fight. You've got to be up for it. And if you're not, you lose. But I think we're good enough, obviously, to win the game. But they're a good side. I mean, as Miles mentioned previously, they beat West Brom last week, and that's a good win for them. Looking at their past 6 results, they've had a few kind of tight games, I'd say. Not many sort of big scoring games. They are a decent side, I think. I think Liam Rossini has done a good steady job there. They're probably at the start of the season may have been a team you'd say possibly flirting with danger, but they've done better than that. And I think for them, if they get to the top, and I'm sure Corben will agree, if they get to say top half of the table of the season, I think that's a decent season for Hull.
Yeah, definitely. Considering where we were last season, a couple of points off relegation, weren't we? So anything above that's an improvement. I've seen some City fans saying, "Oh, we should be aiming higher," but come on, let's be realistic. I'd happily take a mid-table finish, as it's showing signs of improvement. Maybe next season, try and get into a playoff spot, flirt around with the top 6, and see what happens.
Yeah, I was on the podcast last night, and we both agreed. I spoke to Nathan last night, and we both agreed it's going to be quite a tight game. I don't think there's going to be many goals in it. I think it's going to be quite tight myself, because Hull are probably a bit more organised and, with all due respect, than Huddersfield are. They were awful last week, so I can't see them conceding goals like that. But we've got a few injuries as well, so I'll be certainly happy with the 1-0. I'll be happy with any type of victory, really. But at the start of the season, did you have ambitions to get it up into the playoffs? What was your ambitions at the start of the season? Because I know ours all went out the window, but we had all sorts of problems at the start of the season. So our plans went up in the air, and we started awful, and then we improved, and then we had a World Cup break, and then we came back sloppy, and then we've gone back again to improved. So we've been very up and down, and we're sitting in 8th place, believe it or not, and we've had like 17 odd clean sheets. So, we can't moan really, considering the start we had.
Yeah, obviously our owners ambitious, very ambitious. A couple months ago, they had a talk with Hull City Council about potential. I think it was 2 billion, maybe 2 million pound investment into the Walton Street car park, which is a car park behind the stadium, which hosts Hull Fair. Interchanging that into a big sports village, a big sports complex, which is academy, main team training, also like the stalls and stuff. So it's fair to say we've got ambitious owners who want us to be in the Premier League as soon as possible. I think as soon as they came in, Blackburn last year, I believe it was, everyone thought something could happen. And they've been putting money into the club. We've been buying players. We usually stuck to buying players who were in England or who were in the surrounding leagues. Yeah. But now we've been shopping abroad. Oscar from Vitória in Portugal. We've mainly been tapping into the Turkish market. Brought some on loan from Fenerbahce and Transport. So the ambition's definitely there. I feel like we could definitely get into the Premier League in the next 5 seasons if things work and go our way. Yeah,
I mean, what sort of who we've got to look out for on Saturday, players wise? Who would you say has been the standout players for you this season?
Well, I'd like to mention our goalkeeper from last game, Carl Darlow. It was his first game at home, and he kept a clean sheet against the West Brom side. That was which I thought was quite good. Yeah, he made some really good saves, and he's showing he got unlucky with the penalty against Bristol. That was his first game for us. We lost 1-0. So he's going to. I feel like Rossini wants to keep him in net after a good performance on Friday. Tete, he's massive. He's around 6'3", 6'4", maybe 6'5" even, and he's this big striker. He's pacey. He can strike a ball well. He's definitely going to be something your defenders are going to have to watch out. But on the wings, we've got Aliyar Sayadmanesh, an Iranian winger. He's fast, really fast. And then we've got Ryan Longman, who we brought on a permanent from Brighton. He's good technical ability, can get past defenders easily, and he's good across.
Oh, right, okay. It should be interesting. I mean, what sort of players have you seen much of Hull? Impressive with yours, Miles, when you went to the first game? Who impressed you from Hull? I know the guys.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised that Hull have dropped off a little bit. I thought that when the season sort of started, I thought they would be pushing where we sort of are, and I thought they'd be really in the race for it, because their performance against us looked like they were a team that were going to start moving in that forward direction and up the table. To be honest with you, the only thing that I think that slipped us up back then is that we were playing a game every 2 weeks, where teams around us were playing every week, or they were playing twice a week. You had a Tuesday night fixture or whatever, and we couldn't have that. So maybe that flattered them a little bit. But I think that, as I said earlier on, I think the threat for me is set pieces with Hull. I just think that there's something there that's going to sort of upset our back three, or upset our back five, however we will play it on Saturday. I think that the last couple of games that we played, Huddersfield, they didn't really cross the ball. They didn't really threaten anything in the air, and I think that's
very
our
poor.
weak. I think that's our weak. Yeah, I think that's our weak link, where Preston sort of they were sort of doing whatever teams were doing and trying to cross the ball in and trying to threaten us in the air, and they sort of had Big Vic in their pocket at Preston. They did a real good job on him, and had two players on him. So if Hull come set up like like he was saying that maybe they might put two onto Vic, and we're very short in midfield. And I think the key for me is that without O'Hare and Allen, teams can afford to put two players on Victor. I think that if we had Allen or obviously O'Hare, which we all wish, but I think that Hull would probably then couldn't double up on Victor. Maybe they've done their homework. We were close by last week to where they live, so they probably sent a lot of scouts over to check it out and see how Big Vic performs. And I think if they double up on Big Vic, I think it could be a very tight game. Like Mark said, that all the games have been quite tight. They haven't really run away with a game, so it could be quite tight. But yeah, I think, as I say, my biggest fear is crossing and throw-ins in corner weekend. I think that's going to be key for Hull, I reckon. But I'm always ever optimistic, apart from Saturday I sat on the fence. But but I think that was only because we didn't have any midfielders, so I was a little bit worried. But Howley came in and did a good job. But yeah, for me, it's that crossing, them throw-ins, them corners, them set pieces. I think Hull could damage us with those, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that was the problems with caused us loads of problems. That is set pieces and long throw-ins and this lack of concentration. Really, some of the games this season we've been really bad. But we have tightened up lately. Obviously, with the defence we've got in place at the moment. We play a back three normally, and then they're doing really well. We've got McFadden's just come back. He made a hell of a difference. He's 36, but he's been around a bit. But he certainly organises them at the back, and we've looked a lot more solid since he's been back in the team. To be honest, I was going to ask you about the manager, because he come from Derby, didn't he? How do you rate him?
Highly. I rate him highly. He's turned us around since he's come in. I believe when we played you first, he was under Shota Avaladze. I think we got him from, I don't know, some like Middle Eastern league, but I knew he was one of our owner's friends, which is why I think he got the job. So we don't really like to talk about his tenure. It was a bit dodgy, but since then, he's revolutionised us. We've looked so much better. We look so much more organised going in attack and in defence. We're holding the ball as well. Like I've said, we've upped our game on set pieces. We look a lot more better defending and attacking them. It's we got him from Derby. He was assistant manager under Rooney.
Under Rooney, yeah, that's right. Yeah. They're doing well, weren't they?
He became interim manager for a bit after Rooney left.
Yeah.
He also managed the Brighton under-21s for a bit. So hopefully he knows a couple of good young players who are coming up through the Brighton ranks who might be able to get on loan. Like Aaron Connolly. He's someone we've got on loan, but I think he's out injured for this game. I think he broke his or done something to his hand or foot in the Sheffield United game, which is he's gone out. Yeah.
And I was going to talk to you about the owner because he's put a bit of money in and he's supporting the fans, isn't he? He's free travel, hasn't he? We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, I love our owner so much. He there's a little inside joke going where it's just like he just gets it, but he honestly does. Like he knows what it's like being a football fan. He started off being a football fan, and he's kind of worked his way up, becoming this kind of like media mogul person. He loves football. Does our owner, and he's passionate for our club and our fans. Last game against West Brom, he provided I think it was the first 500 people in the stadium in each stand, little glowing orange wristbands. And before the game, all the lights went off and he was told to raise them or put your phone torch on. He just knows how to make a good atmosphere. He brings in the fire projectors and stuff. He just knows. He invests in our club. He's trying to invest in the surrounding areas. I think he's trying to buy the stadium as well, so he can expand it and develop it. So top.
And he's paying for away travel as well, I believe, isn't he?
He's bought coaches for us, and he's giving us free travel and stuff for the rest of the season.
Wow.
Yeah,
he's saved you a few quid, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I know. I think my friend Mason
need it at our prices.
I think my mate Mason, who's in the chat now, he's bought me and my three friends some tickets. He's coming with us. So it's going to be a nice little lads' day out for us. Hopefully we can bring back the 3 points to Hull, but I'll have to see.
So how many are you expecting there on Saturday? I know you're going yourself, aren't you? So how many more is going to be there?
We sold out our original allocation of 2.5 thousand, and we got given an extra allocation of 500. So I'm expecting around maybe 100 to come, or maybe 200. So we should be 2.6, 2.7. Maybe even 2.8, depends.
Yeah, well, there's the answer to that because somebody just put a question in Feta D. How many have Hull sold for Saturday? So there's the answer to that question, Feta. So we bring
a good away following. I was looking at some away support stats and stuff, and apparently we were if it was in a table, we'd be mid-table. I'm thinking, for the amount we bring, I think we almost sold out, or we did sell out Birmingham away. And I remember I went to that. That was really nice.
Yeah. And will it be your first visit to
Coventry?
CBS Arena, yeah.
Yes,
Coventry?
It will be. It will be.
Wow.
I'm hoping it to be a memorable for the right reasons.
Well, I'm guarantee you'll have a good view anyway. There's no, it's quite a modern stadium. There's no obstructions, if you like, with some of the grounds we've been to. We have posts in the way and all sorts. So, but. Yeah, some of the older grounds, but you'll have a brilliant view. Yeah, and you'll be beyond the goal there, so it should be good.
I've always liked Coventry as a club. I've got respect for them. I've had some good games with them in the past, and
we have. I remember the goal. Remember the ghost goal from last year?
Yes,
the goal
I remember.
Never
that.
given.
Yeah.
I still swear that went in. It hit his
back.
I'm
not sure what you're on about.
we were losing. We were losing anyway. We like to get another goal back after that anyway, so it don't really matter, to be honest with you.
It was just one of them games, I think, but that sticks in my mind against Hull because I swear blind that went over the line, but obviously with the slow replays and everything, the whole of the ball has got to go over, and the whole of the ball wasn't over, so allegedly. But there you go. Anyway, but Mark, let's get some predictions then for the game. How do you see this game going? Do you think it's going to be tight?
Yeah, I think it'll be a tight game.
Are you going to sit on the fence, or are you going to go for a home victory?
No, I think we'll win probably by the goal, 1 goal. I'm going to go for probably 1-0. I think it'll be a tight game.
Yeah.
Hull. We're looking ahead to the fixtures. You've got Hull at home, and then you've got Wigan and Blackpool. So
yeah, great
opportunity if we can, keep this run going. I mean, Miles mentioned before about he's a bit concerned about our defending from like set pieces, but look at our last 6 games. We've only conceded 2 goals.
Yeah,
probably strongest trio of centre halves available for selection.
Yeah,
bit concerning about the lack of attacking midfielder. It would be nice it'd be lovely if, say, Ben Sheep was available and fit to the selection, because I would then probably move Haim a bit further forward as playing that sort of number 10 role possibly. But I think in terms of the game itself, it's going to be a tight game. I mean, Hull will be tough opposition. I think out of our next 3 games, Hull are probably the hardest opposition we've got to play. But I think we could win. Absolutely. It's important that the fans get right behind the team, create a really good atmosphere, which I know they will do. And I think we could come out on top. If we get a win, that takes us that bit closer to the playoffs. So there's a massive incentive for this game for us. So let's keep it going. I'm going for 1-0 to Cov.
You're going 1-0 Cov, and I think there'll be a big crowd there by all accounts, because obviously Hull are bringing a few fans, and I believe the home ticket sales are going well as well. So it should be a good atmosphere. Miles, do you see it the same way? Very similar, or are you going for goals?
No, I think it'd be tight. I'll take a 1-0 all day long. I'm going to go with Mark on this one. I'll just take a 1-0 all day long on this weekend. I think we've got to try and get through these next 3 games with at least 7 points. I can see us getting 3 at Wigan, and I can see us getting 3 at Blackpool, to be honest with you, because when you're taking 3,777 fans to Blackpool, there's only one result in it, to be honest with you. So, I've Wigan will probably draw, but I think this week, I think Saturday, I think 1-0 all day. I'll take it. That's it.
So you go for 1-0, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Corben, give me a prediction then. Go on.
Oh, I think it's either going to be a game where it's either going to go incredibly Coventry's way or either Hull's way. I don't think it's going to be very tight, because we've both got some very good players, and if one of us doesn't show up on the day, then I think one of us could easily get hammered. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 City win for us. But again, it could easily go your way.
Is that Hull City or Coventry City?
Yeah, that's Hull. That's Hull. I'm backing with my lads.
So you're going for a 2-1 win.
City
okay.
Win.
Yeah. I come on your pod yesterday, and I predicted a 1-0 win as well, believe it or not. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to go for a very tight game. I think it's going to be very tight. I don't think there's going to be many goals in it. But I think we'll keep another clean sheet, and I think we'll just nip it by a goal, 1-0. So I'm going to go with the rest of them and go for a 1-0 win and 3 points, hopefully. But as you know, anything can happen in this league. We all know the top team can beat the bottom team on any given day, because it's so competitive, isn't it, the Championship?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's so many strange results we see every weekend, that teams that we don't expect to get beat have been beat, and then, we're all back to square one again. So we don't take anybody for granted. But, on current form, I'll go for a 1-0 win. Sky Blue Sam, so is Christie going to feature on Saturday? Which teams have impressed against Hull the most this season so far? That's a good question from Sky Blue Sam, and that's to you. Then you can answer that for us, maybe. Colin.
I don't believe he is. I believe he's going to be one of the players who's going to be missing out for this game.
Okay.
Alongside Aaron Connolly and a few others. He's been one of our best players. It's very. I want to say there's probably a big divide between our right backs, Coyle and Christie. I know a lot of people prefer Christie over Coyle, and I know some people who prefer Coyle over Christie. Personally, I see it both ways. They can both bring something to the table, but I don't think he wasn't on the bench against West Brom. He didn't start against West Brom, so I don't think he'd be coming with us to Coventry. I don't think.
I mean, he was great players for us, Cyrus. He's obviously started his career with us, and he was really good for us. He's had his injury problems, and other players had his injury problems over the years. What other teams have impressed you this season in the Championship? I know it's competitive, but what other teams stand out for you? And obviously Burnley, apart from Burnley, who we all probably agree are going up. Who do you see getting that second place?
Oh, who do you pick? Honestly, it's
Middlesbrough, maybe.
Middlesbrough. Yeah, I was going to say they're going to be one of the favourites to go up. Maybe Blackburn too, depending if they can keep some of their players. I know Ben Brennan Diaz is out of contract to come end of season.
Yeah,
a couple underneath the top six, like Sunderland. They could. I don't think they're going to be able to do it, but they've got potential. You got Watford as well, just outside with you. So
yeah, I mean, we're lucky. We've got quite a reasonable run in. I mean, we played Middlesbrough last game of the season away, but all the rest of the teams we're playing are sort of around us or below us. So we've got quite a good run in towards the end of the season. So which is quite good for us really, because we normally end up playing some of the big teams at the end of the season, but this season it has it's worked out well for us, to be honest. Any more comments, Miles?
Yeah, so some score predictions coming in. Mini 1987 says it'd be a 1-1 at the weekend. Mason Graham has put in 3-0 win to Hull.
For Hull, Mason, is he?
I'd love that.
Do you know that guy?
Yeah, he's the mate who's coming with me. He's one of the mates who's coming with me.
That's a big shout, considering you're up against a defence that have got 17 clean sheets. So that's massive.
Here to ruin the party.
You're there to ruin the party, definitely. David Granham, 2-1 Cov.
2-1 Cov.
Glenn's come in. Good evening, Glenn. Hull are a bit of a bogey side for us. They've won at the CBS a few times over the season.
Yes, they have. They are a bit of a bogey side.
That's true. Then we've got under average Cov fan, 3-0 to Cov. Vic steal the show. Sky Blue Sam, 4-0.
4-0 Cov, my goodness.
I hope not.
Not 2 4-0s on the trot, surely.
No.
I hope not.
Fetter's gone 2-2 Saturday. Hopefully I'm wrong. We get the win, but he's going for 2-2. Ken O'Tomo, good evening. 3-0 and 24,000 at the stadium this weekend. Better stock up on the Bovril. So if anyone's watching from the CBS,
it's going to be a cold one.
Ready, because it's going to be a cold one.
It's going to be cold.
Mick Davenport 2-1 to the Sky Blues. Yukarez Hema or Harmer, as commentators call him.
Harmer,
I don't know how they get that one. So yeah, that's Mick. And then any more scores? Let's do the scores for now. Mark Cunningham 2-1 Cov. Nation Radio, Tony, good evening. 3-0
Good
Cov.
evening, Tony. 3-0.
Cov Andy 2-0.
Another 2-0.
Sky Blue Sam says McNally is due a goalless.
He is.
Gets on the pitch, that is. Mark Hamilton saying 4-0 to Cov. Good evening, Mark. What else is it? What's this one? Dylan Walway. Do you know this guy?
No, I can deny that.
Corbyn's victory, you smashed a bottle over a West Brom fan's head.
Oh dear.
No, it's not true. I'm not sure who said that.
I hope it was a plastic bottle.
What's this one here? Evening, fellas. Corben, who do you reckon will bag first? Up the Tiger.
The Tiggy Tigers.
The Tiggy Tigers. Tiggy Tigers.
Yeah.
Is that what you call yourselves now? Tiggy Tigers.
Tiggy Tigers.
So who's going to score for you? Who's going to score?
He's going to put the ball in the back. Hopefully that guy that scored the hat-trick's not going to score. Or get a chance.
Simon Moore's not in goal.
All of our players are more than capable of scoring, but if I were to put my house on anyone right now, I don't think I could be able to put my house on Tete. He got that wonder of a goal for our first goal against West Brom. Oscar, he's been on fine form throughout the season. We've had a couple of midfielders who've looked quite impressive. So I can't really put a name on anyone. But if I were to have to, I'd have to say Tete is going to score tomorrow.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
More scores. Colin White 3-0 Hull. It's another 3-0. Danny Drury says 4-0. Robert Manton. Good evening, Robert. Hope you're feeling better, mate. 4-0 Cov. Have the faith. 7-2.
7-2.
I love that. It's my way to that, wasn't it?
That's plenty of goals in that one.
Colin White's changed his mind. 2-all.
Oliver
Ince. Oliver Ince 8-0.
8-0 the Blue. 8-0. Bloody hell.
Oliver, you're not meant to say that.
Danny's changed his mind. Said 3-2. Yeah, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to be a good game.
It should be a good game. I mean, I think it'll be tight, but you never know, do you? I say in this league, we get a few early goals. It could be a load of us saying it's going to be tight. It might end up like 3-3 or something. We don't know, do we? Football's a funny game and it has a habit of kicking you in the teeth when you don't expect it, doesn't it? One thing I was going to say, we'll bring it up while you're here, actually. We've got an 88th minute applause for a guy, haven't we, Miles, this guy here. Ted Balance.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can remind some of your fans, maybe, Corben. 88th minute.
I saw you post a thing about it on Twitter, and I posted it in a Hull City group chat.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. He's a lifelong Cov fan, and his family has asked us to let the Cov fans know if they can appreciate it, if they do an 88th minute applause for him to show the appreciation. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
That'll be fantastic if that can be done, and hopefully everybody will remember about that. Okay, right. We'll let you go then, Corben. Thanks very much.
Thank you for having me on.
Cheers, Corben.
It's been a pleasure.
Right. Cheers, Corben.
It's been a pleasure being on.
And we wish you the best of luck after Saturday, obviously.
For
the rest of the season.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.
I was just about to say all the best for Saturday, but okay, I guess not then.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, yeah, all the best. I mean, hopefully it's a good game, but hopefully we get the points. But you never know.
All right. We'll see.
Have a safe trip. Have a safe trip.
Safe trip anyway. I hope you enjoy your first trip to. Hope you enjoy your first trip to Coventry anyway.
I will do. Thank you very much. See you all later, everyone.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers for joining us.
Cheers. Bye.
Ta-da. Right, that was Corben, Hull City fan. Right, we're going to move on. We're going to have a quick ad break, and then we're going to come back and talk Fans Forum from Tuesday night, which was fantastic. Good evening. Welcome back to Sky Blue Fans TV. We're just going to announce a bit about our competition that's been ongoing at the moment before we go any further. We've got a competition to win 2 tickets for Neville Staples at the Plaza. Miles, you can show them the tickets, can't you? There you go. He's got them in his hand. There they are.
2 tickets.
2 tickets to be won. And that's on. Unfortunately, it's on that Saturday. We're all in Blackpool, so we can't go. But anybody that's not going to Blackpool, it'll be a good night, and you can win 2 tickets if you answer this question. And we got the question there, Miles.
We certainly have. So the question is, what band did Neville Staple join after he left the Specials? Now it's going across the ticker at the bottom. So the competition time is, what band did Neville Staple join after the specials? If you could send your entries in via email, please, because it's very difficult for us to get everyone's names down when you tweet us or you send us on Facebook or you do it tonight. So if you can send it to info@skybluefanstv.co.uk, that is the email address to send your answer to. So what was the name of the band that Neville Staple went to after he left the specials? If you can send your answer to info@skybluefanstv.co.uk, I will announce the winner live outside the DW Stadium in Wigan on Tuesday night. So, well, I'll be inside the ground. We'll do it live inside the ground. So we'll announce the winner because we've got to get the tickets to you by Thursday because we'll be going up to Blackpool on the Friday. So the winner will be announced this Tuesday.
Well, look forward to that. It's going to be a fantastic night if you get them tickets. We'll be having a fantastic night, I'm sure, in Blackpool while we're there, won't we, as well? We just got to announce a bit about some... Yeah, it's Paddy's night as well, remember? Yeah, we're going to have all the Irish there as well, which is going to be... Then you know how jolly there can be as well, so it'll be interesting. Away travel from the Tavern.
Away travel first, sorry.
Away travel first, yeah. If you're going to Wigan, Tavern do away travel, so you can book. There are the details there on screen. It's £27, I believe, for Wigan. The coach is leaving the coach is leaving at 3 o'clock, isn't it?
3 o'clock the coach leaves, and it will be leaving dead on 3. We've got 28 seats booked already, so still a few places left. So get yourselves over to the Sky Blue Tavern Twitter page. Click on the link below. Get yourselves booked on the coach. Gary won't be on it this week. I will be running the coach. I'm not driving this week. Thank goodness. I was absolutely shattered the next day after Preston. But we have got a coach, and we will be leaving at 3 o'clock. So if you get there for about 2, you get yourselves a pint and a burger and chips before you leave. And we'll be heading up 3 o'clock. Hopefully, nice and early. It's a little bit closer than Preston, so we should be all right.
Yeah, hopefully you won't get caught up in traffic like you did at against Preston. Also, the Tavern is the match day shuttle service, which is available on match days from the Tavern to Dillon's Brewery. Runs every sort of half an hour, I believe, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And you can go and get yourselves a couple of drinks down there, $2.99 a pint, I think it is at the Tavern, and jump on the minibus, get yourselves down to Dillon's by the ground, and then get your minibus back. Easy as that.
Yeah, can't beat that. That's brilliant. So there you go. That's a couple of things ongoing at the moment. We're going to talk, if it's okay, fellas, we're going to talk about the Fans Forum on Tuesday night now, which me and Miles were there. Mark wasn't there, but I'm sure he's heard all about it. And you will get to one eventually, won't you, Mark? One of these days. One of these months. It's a bit difficult for Mark because he obviously lives in Bedfordshire, so he has to travel, and it's midweek, so it's a bit difficult for people that don't live in the Coventry area to get to. But it was a fantastic night, wasn't it, Miles? We can show a few pictures.
No excuse. Don't care where you live. No excuse.
I did need to go and try and present and take the load off you a bit. So. But
it was a great night, and the players are brilliant. You know, the players are really down to earth. They spoke very confidently, and we had a laugh with them as well, which was good. McNally was good. He was a late replacement because obviously it was supposed to be Casey Palmer originally, wasn't it? And obviously because of his injury, he's had to pull out last minute, and he was replaced by.
So was it because of his injury that he wasn't actually there?
I think yeah, because he's still undergoing treatment because of his injury. So it might be a little bit worse than maybe we first thought. So he obviously thought it was better for him not to be there. So the club pulled him out and replaced him with McNally. It was a good replacement, to be fair. He was a very interesting lad to speak to. We got footage of the evening, which will be going up on our socials, won't it, Miles?
It will be, yeah. I've just got to sort it all out. I've just literally been snowed under, so I will get on.
Yeah, I've got a lot of footage of it, which is very interesting. If you can go through that. I mean, it's a really good night. It was.
So there are some photos as well on our social media channels, so on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter channels. You'll see some photos that were.
Yeah, we've got some photos here. Here's some of the photos of the evening. It was an absolute sellout on the evening.
It's the biggest crowd we've had so far at one of the forums. So the fans were. It was quite funny. I went down the stairs and they're all piled in by the bar trying to get up the stairs, and we have to scan the tickets in as you come in. So it was a little bit chaotic downstairs, but everyone had a great time. This is just by the front door as you come up the stairs, people queuing up at the bar. And then a sort of a wider angle shows you that they're all going round the back of the room there, and it was one of the record attendance we've had. I think they've sold them. I think it's about 200. I think in there, so it was absolutely superb. That's it from the stage area, and then the players, bless them, they had a lovely time. They were on stage having a laugh. Fadzine was just mental, weren't he? He threw me under the bus, but. He did. The bus. We won't go there about that one. But yeah, they were brilliant. I was so impressed with McNally. He was absolutely superb, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He spoke really well, didn't he? About his career, about the time he played in Ireland. He played for Oxford, and then how Oxford, treated him, and obviously he enjoyed his time there, and how Burnley come to sign him, basically. So it's really, really interesting, and he was a good laugh. We had a good laugh with him, and he was really down to earth. So it was a fantastic night. Even one of our own won the raffle, didn't she? I believe Vicky won the raffle.
Yeah.
Oh, Vic.
So Vicky won
the
raffle. No, we didn't fix it. We had Jess on the club sheet. No, Jess pulled out the ticket out the tub. But I'll go on to what the players were saying, because we've had some people request today what the players were talking about, and their attitude towards this playoff push is absolutely spot on. They really believe, even with the depleted midfield, they really believe that they can really push for the playoffs. So it's something special that's in their minds, and McFadzine is so determined to get us there. And I just think there's something going on in the dressing room that we don't know about. The morale is just absolutely fantastic, and it was just great. But McFadzine was telling us about O'Hare. O'Hare's in the gym now, so he's on the exercise bike, which was lovely to hear. Because obviously he must be ahead of schedule if he's doing that already. He must be way ahead of schedule. So let's hope that it's not as bad as what they're making out, or because he's so young, he can recover from it really quick. Casey Palmer is on the mend, but still quite far away. But I mean, the way Fadzine was talking, they're all up for it. But even McNally, isn't he? I mean, McNally was like, a trip to Wembley would be a dream for him. It'd be to get into the playoffs and get to a playoff final would be brilliant. And then we were talking to Fads was talking about Adi Vidash and how they bounce off each other and how he's guided him and how he's guiding all the youngsters, and Fadzine's really relishes playing with Doyle and McNally at the back, and they just had a right banter, didn't they, the two of them?
They're great, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things they didn't want to tell us, weren't they? They were going to try and get a secret out of them. They were about to tell us, I think, and then they realised they were on camera, and I think they stopped because the cameraman was there.
Everyone asked them what the celebration, the Batman celebration, is for Victor, but they said we've got to ask Victor that question, so we will when we get a chance.
Yeah, we will ask him.
And then there was something about the changing rooms, but they didn't want to say it, and we turned the camera off, but they still wouldn't tell us what was going on.
They were whispering between them. They were laughing, weren't they? I think they were going to tell us, and then they said, no, maybe you shouldn't tell us. But it would have been good if they did, but we never got to know, did we? Unfortunately. Yeah. But
the thing about Fads as well was that he come out and he said, because one of the questions was, which a fan asked us, and I put it into the questions, how hard was it for him to leave Burton Albion because he was a record signing at Burton Albion. And he said that it was hard, but when we played them that year and they beat us 1-0, Mark Robins had already approached him and said he was interested in him, and Fadzine, they offered him a deal and he said no, I'm leaving. And there was no other team to go to but Coventry City. He wanted to come to Coventry City, and he absolutely loves it. He loves the club. He loves everything. He loves everything about it. He loves the staff. He loves the crowd. Both of them, the crowd. I mean, McNally couldn't believe it. How he was telling us about West Brom. That it's probably his not his best game he's had for us. And McNally turned around and said that he could not believe that we'd got beat and we were still singing at the final whistle and clapping them off the pitch. He said any other team, he said you'd be booed off the pitch or whatever. He said,
we were all there, weren't we, that night? Yeah, we were all there.
Yeah. He said the Sky Blue Army are absolutely fantastic, and they're looking forward to the travelling army going up to Blackpool, because we said, the Wigan on Tuesday, then up to Blackpool. What do you make to the fans? And they both just can't believe how fantastic we all are, and it was just brilliant. They love us. They absolutely love us, and we just got to keep doing what we're doing. The fact they want to send a message to everyone saying how just got to keep doing what we're doing and keep singing them and keep backing them, and they, as long as we're backing them and we're singing, they will try their hardest to get us into the playoffs. They're desperate to get into them playoffs. They really are. They really are.
I've just got. I mean, I've got a question, kind of based on Vetter's question here about how loved is he by the fans. I mean, did McNally sort of strike you as someone who feels quite settled at the club, and do you think realistically we could even look at buying him in the summer? Do you think that's a realistic target or not?
Yeah, that question was asked, when we did ask the question whether what's the chances of basically being with us after the summer. He was reluctant to sort of look at that far forward. He said we just take each game as it comes. He was very level-headed and he didn't really commit to anything, but I think he was very impressed with the fans, and I think personally, from his feedback and from his reactions, I've got a funny feeling we'd be first choice if he was to move from Burnley, although he didn't actually say that. He didn't come out and say that, but he said we'll just see how it goes and we'll take each game as it comes. He's here for the season. He wants to enjoy it while he's here, and he is enjoying it. So, but I think we've got a fantastic chance of signing him. I do.
And to be fair, that's largely expected to say, in fairness, because he's not going to say I want to sign for Coventry City. You can't expect to say that. I wasn't sure any hints he gave. Maybe he may have dropped a hint or something. Maybe he could have. Maybe need to work with the journalistic skills, try and prize a bit more answer out of him. Maybe I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, I mean, he might. We could have asked him. Maybe I don't think he was going to say it in front of everybody on the camera. We might have asked him a bit off screen, if you like. He might have said a bit more. I don't know, but he probably was reluctant to say it when there's so many people there and cameras and everything around. So he probably didn't want to commit himself. But just in case anything
he's loving it.
Yeah,
he's loving it. He's loving it. Absolutely loving it. He loves putting on the shirt. He loves playing in front of us lot. He couldn't believe what Singer's Corner was like. He's like gobsmacked when he came to the CBS, and he had spoke to Ian Matson, and Ian Matson said how good the club was and what a good season
he gave us a good reference. Yeah.
He gave us a good reference and everything, and his dad goes to every game, so his dad's always at home and away. I haven't bumped into him yet, or Ken hasn't, but
not yet.
His old man goes to every single game. He's loving life because he's playing football. He wasn't getting a look in, and the best thing was when we asked about Company and Mark Robins. We just had a competition entry come in. Thank you, Andy Littlewood. So yeah, he mentioned about Company and Mark Robins because we asked the question, what's the difference? And he says that Mark Robins delegates a lot of coaching. He delegates a lot of different aspects of the coaching at Brighton. He he sort of watches and takes on board, and he's delegating different sections of the training. Where Company is full on. Company's there. He's literally doing everything. Company's style of coaching is completely different to Mark Robins, and Mark Robins is more probably. He didn't really say it in these sort of words, but probably more of a father figure to the players, and maybe that's probably why. What I read into it is why Mark Robins is getting the best out of the players, because he's managing the players. He's managing probably their lifestyle, that when they're at training and things like that, and he's making them feel comfortable. And I think McNally likes that. He liked that side of it. He said it was a lot different to Burnley, and he said it was a lot nicer. It was a nice atmosphere, even in the changing rooms when he arrived. He said, "Do you know what? Although he was injured, the player that went to him straight away when he arrived was Callum O'Hare."
Yeah.
He said he just greeted me like I've been there for ages. He said Callum O'Hare was there when I arrived, and we've made friends. Blah blah blah. So yeah, it was good. It was good. McNally.
Yeah, McFadden said about Mark Robins about how, because the question was asked, "What's the best manager you've played under?" And Mark Robins was the answer basically. So it just shows you how much the players are all behind Robins and Eddie Vivash and the coaching team, doesn't it? Because them questions were asked. A lot of the questions were asked as well on the floor from the fans, and they come up with the answers all the time. And he was brilliant. He was just really good. A good insight into their life, the daily life, and what they get up to, and things we don't normally hear about, in the press. We found out about, which was good. It was really good and very interesting. We've got a few more comments, have we, Miles? Haven't we? Rose, this is one about Rose from Mark Reed. Rose seemed pretty disgusted at the end of the Huddersfield match. Didn't really celebrate with the rest of the team. I don't know. I mean, was he Miles?
I didn't notice, to be honest with you. I didn't really notice on this, Mark. Did you notice, Mark?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, but there was on social media. I believe there was someone took a picture, and you could see as we were as the players were celebrating towards the fans after the Huddersfield game, he sort of walked straight back to the change room. I think so. Yeah, I think it's clear that he's not happy. I think he's out of contract in the season as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he won't be playing for us after this season. That's just my thought.
Yeah.
So not surprised, but look, I mean, we've only conceded 2 goals in 6 games, as I mentioned before. So you can't get disgruntled really, because the other 3 players are doing better. So it's up to him.
I don't think he's got
an
any
injury. He's got to come
complaints,
back in and do his job. So I think it's just frustration really, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets released at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean he's played. He had a few good games for us, hasn't he, Rose? But he's been a bit hit and miss lately. So he's just got to wait his turn, and hopefully we don't get any more injuries. But he's a good player to come on and replace somebody if need be. But as you say, I can't see him being here at the end of the season for next season.
The other thing about the lads as well, we said to both of them, we goes, so who's the best striker you've ever played with? And they said present or past. We said either. We said don't mind. Who's the best striker you've ever played with in a team? And they both said Vic.
Vic, yeah.
And McNally turned around and said, when he watched him against Burnley, he said, he's the best striker I've seen in the league. He said, although he missed a chance where he should have scored, he said he's the best striker in the league. And McFadden even said as well. So all the players McFadden's played with, even he said, Vic's the best player, best striker. Sorry, not best player. Sorry, let me word that.
Striker.
Best striker that he's ever played with. And then McNally said, I'd like to play against Victor for 90 minutes, because they play in training and stuff, and they were joking about 5-a-side, and McNally says, I don't want Vic on the 5-a-side, and Fad says, oh we don't like it, does he? He can't play 5-a-side because the pitch ain't wide enough and things like that, you know what I mean? Because the pitch ain't big enough for Vic, so he don't like playing 5-a-side. So that was something that come out of it as well. And then we said, who's the best player you've ever played against? And McNally said it was in the summer for Burnley in Portugal in 30-degree heat against St. Maximin. He said, he said after 10 minutes he was shattered. He said because the night before they'd all been out. The whole team had been out.
Yeah, that's right.
They had a night out, went out for beer and
pot.
drinks and stuff. Yeah, and the next day they had to play Newcastle in Portugal in 30-degree heat. And McNally says, I couldn't do it. He says, St. Maximin just ran rings around me, he said. He said it was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, we've got another comment here from Feta D. Regardless of whether we were to make the playoffs or not, we're still going to be in the Championship. We've hit that 50-point barrier, haven't we, next season? Yeah. So the summer's going to be very interested in a Big Doug, isn't it? Whether he spends any money or not, keeps his promises. And, we've obviously got a few players Deadwood and that to get rid of to get off the wage bill. But it'll be interesting to see, how much he actually spends, because we're not used to spending money, are we, at the end of the day? Mark Robbins has always sort of had to wheel and deal, if you like, hasn't he? Free transfers or whatever. So, I mean, what else we got here? We've got another comment here from Mick Davenport. Parkinson on TV that Gorkris is better than a lot of Premiership strikers. Yeah, Mick, you're probably right there, and we probably all agree with you. Some of the Premiership strikers I've seen, I think. I mean, do you think Vic can play in the Premiership no problem? Mark, do you think or do you think he's still only Championship level? I think he's above Championship level.
I think he's a terrible player personally. I don't know what it's about in the B-League and Premier League clubs. Oh, shocking player.
I think,
yeah,
it's National League, isn't he?
We shouldn't be picking him up at all, really. No.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't be really, no, but we've got to be realistic.
To answer your question, yeah, I think he can do. I mean, I was a bit sceptical a little bit because I've said on previous shows that Gyökeres has got the game for the Premier League, but his finishing let him down. But if you look at the way he scored that goal against Huddersfield last week, that was class. Because
that was cool as you like, wasn't it?
If you go back to the Burnley game, he had that one-on-one and he hit it straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Whereas he's just a very confident figure against Huddersfield, and he looks every inch a Premier League player. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest is not just his goals, but it's his all-round play. There's no one who can play. I mean, we all were a bit upset when Max Biarmi went, a few seasons back. We brought this guy Gyökeres. He thought didn't look a lot better. What's all the fuss about? But you can see he's just got class. He's strong on the ball. He brings other players in the game. He also provides assists as well. Let's not forget that. He provides some really good assists this season. Yeah. And I think in the last sort of 20 odd years since we've been relegated from the top flight, he's in my opinion certainly the best striker we've had. And I think there was, in my opinion, probably doesn't make my top 3 Coventry City strikers of all time in my living memory, but he's definitely right up there. He's a superb player. I think he will be a Premier League player, hopefully with us next season. But
I was about to say it could be with us. Yeah, could be with us.
Yeah, it could be. But as I say, there's still a lot of games to go yet. But yeah, he's a class act, and I think I expect him to break the 20-goal barrier. Smash the 20-goal barrier. I would say by the end of the season.
Feta D's. Yes, Feta D's just come back on again. Being generally honest, he's watched the Liverpool Man United game the other day, and that Waghorse is not a patch on Big Vic. Well, he's probably right there, the way he played. Yeah, you're right. He could do a better job.
What? I'll tell you a story about Sunday. I was going to watch that game, right? I thought, Sky always pick these games up. Liverpool, Man United, Man City. They're always boring. I thought I won't bother watching it, so I didn't bother watching it. And then I was in the kitchen sorting dinner out, and Will messaging me. He goes, "It's 6-0." I went, what? He goes, "It's 6-0." I went, "Shut up." So I had to put it on my phone.
Just believe it. Yeah.
Put the game on. It was 6-0.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, every time Liverpool went forward. Every time Liverpool went forward, they looked like they were going to score, didn't they?
They had seven shots, didn't they?
Something like that, yeah.
7 shots on target.
nearly every shot there on target went in. I mean, I know the keeper didn't have a great game, to be honest. He probably should have saved them, really. A couple of them, shouldn't he?
Oh well, never mind.
We've got
go on then. Yeah.
Just a couple of more messages. MOX Box MPB. Hi guys, lovely insight into Corben C is a legend. Oh, well, thank you very much. Well,
Brilliant.
He was a good guy. Yeah. Is that a Hull City fan?
Who's your three legends? Who's your three top strikers then? Because you said Victor's not there yet.
Okay, so just to answer his other question here, I think Tyler Walker might be free at the end of the season, so you can have Tyler Walker.
Yeah, you can have him.
you can have our striker. You can have Tyler.
I think
you can have Tyler.
Mr. Xbox.
Cov Andy made the same point as well. Let's go back to your question, Miles. My top 3 Coventry strikers of all time. So Dion Dublin, my first one. I would say Peter Unlove. I thought was fantastic. Last but not least, I'd say Robbie Keane. I know he wasn't here that long, but he was just quality, fantastic finisher. But I think Gyökeres to me is got all the ingredients to be, as good, if not better, than those guys. I think he's got the talent. I really hope we can keep him, but I'm also realistic. I think we could lose him in the summer, and if that happens, obviously we plan ahead and we use that money wisely. But whatever happens, I think it's safe to say he's been a brilliant signing for us. Probably one of Mark Robins' best signings, I would say, in his tenure at the club. I would say. I don't know what your thoughts on Vic, but he's just been a colossus, hasn't he? A leader. Brilliant.
I mean, when he came. I
was about to say when he came on loan from Brighton initially, if you remember, the first time he came, and everybody was a bit hit. They weren't sure about him, were they? Okay, who we bought here? We don't know much about him, but it's just come on the leaps and bounds, hasn't he? Since unbelievable.
Yeah. I think this boils down to what McFadzean and McNally were saying Tuesday night. This brings it down to AD, Dennis, Mark Robins coaching him, guiding him the right way, and he took a gamble on him because his debut was against Reading, if I'm not mistaken, and I think they beat us 2-0, I think, on the night, and he came on as a sub, but you could see he had pace that night. But then when we played that first season in the Championship and we played Stoke, and he scored that goal where he picked up the ball just inside Stoke's half and he ran with it and he cut across the box, which reminded me of Dealey Adebola against Blackburn in the FA Cup when Dealey did that goal. It was a very similar goal, a real similar goal. And when he scored that goal, you went, this kid's got something, because the way he took it, it was unbelievable. But the thing, Neil's probably watching now, Ken O'Tomo, you are still watching, mate, but he said to me on the way to Reading, we were in the car, and he said, Victor now, he's got the pace. He's starting to learn the game a lot more. How far does he go with his upper body? So does he build himself up too much that he slows himself down? Does he lose a little bit of weight to speed himself up? Or is he at the right build now? Is he where he needs to be? That's one thing that he's got to try and figure out now, because he's learning the game every day, every game. He would have missed that goal. He would have missed that goal last week. Yeah. He would have 3 or 4 games ago. He probably would have missed it.
But we've seen him miss sitters like that, haven't we?
Exactly. We missed one at Rotherham. He's 2 at Rotherham.
And Burnley away.
And Burnley away. So, when you think about it, he's learning and learning. The keeper made it quite easy for him because he come off his line quite far. But he still had a lot of work to do and get the ball over him. But he lifted the ball. He don't normally lift the ball. So they've been telling him. He had one against Preston, if I'm not mistaken, as well, and the keeper stopped it. So, he's learning and learning and learning. And when I seen him against that goal against Stoke during lockdown, something was there. You could see it. And Mark Robins, he did it with McNulty. Remember McNulty? He went, 5 months without scoring a goal. Stick with him. Yeah. And he went and banged in over 20 goals.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
and yeah, it's just I think the guy. I'm a bit like you, Mark. I think he isn't in my top 3, but he's nearly there. If he gets us promoted, he'll be in my top 3.
Well, Mark Reed reckons Cyril Regis, David Speedy, and Mickey Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Can't argue with that, can you either?
Big Cyril and Speedy were great players.
Mickey
Quinn was all right. But
he was a poacher, wasn't he, Mickey Quinn? He was a poacher.
He was a poacher. I mean, I always remember that game against Villa. He got the hat trick at Highfield Road.
Cyril Regis for me. Not just a striker, but a person. I've said this at West Brom. I've said it over and over again. The guy was just a legend on the field and a legend off the field. And I've said this story many a time. My wife and I, Cheryl, we were in Highfield Road in a director's box. We were in the lounge at the time. He come and sat down with us. He sat next to my wife and he asked her, like, football. She goes, not really, I'm only here for my husband, sort of thing. And he totally changed the subject from football and just spoke to my wife about her and him and what they do and blah, blah, blah. And that for me just takes him to the top for me. But when I seen him play, that guy was just, oh man.
Yeah, tremendous player.
He's much missed.
Yeah, and Vic reminds me a little bit like Cyril, the way with his pace, the way he bursts through, and Cyril Regis used to do that on a regular basis, didn't he? So powerful, And it says here, Feta D, Vic is constantly improving his game, so much better now than when he first joined. Yeah, we agree with you there, absolutely. I just wanted to bring this comment about Mick Davenport. He says Doug King was at the Diamond Club. Diamond Club was on tonight. Yeah, I know a few people went to the Diamond Club. And he said his priority is to sign Big Vic, O'Hare and Hamer on improved deals. So that's what he stood up and said tonight in front of the fans at the Diamond Club at the CBS. That was on tonight. So that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? If he's said that,
I think they're pivotal to hopefully our success and ongoing success and our journey hopefully back up to the Premier League, because they're absolutely massive players for us and we've got to do all we can to keep them. So fingers crossed that happens. But I think Doug King has made a really good start as owner, and the fans love him. They always chant about Doug King every game, and long may it continue. And hopefully, by next season, we'll have those players signed on for us. Yeah,
Feta D. To be fair, the training staff, etc., brought on a fair few of the players, leaps and bounds. I agree, yeah, and it's what we spoke about earlier with Fads. He's on about the Mark Robbins and Eddie Vivash. Fads, Chief, Hamer, O'Hare, Big Vic, they've all come on leaps and bounds. Well, we all know that song, don't we, Miles?
It's brilliant, though, isn't it? I was singing it in work this morning, actually.
I can hear that work.
Chap I work with, he says, what was it like last week then at Huddersfield? I said, I'll show you this. Shall I? I said, I'll show you. I said, this is from the other end of the ground. That's us lot up there. And I showed it him and he went, that's you lot? I went, yeah. He goes, oh my God. And I said, you see that chap there clapping? I said, that's the new owner and he's clapping to his own song. And I swear blind he was singing his own song, weren't he? Talking about songs.
Talking about songs. Have we got a song lined up for Luke?
Well, I think so. I mean, we put it on social media. Other people have put their lyrics on social media. And I think this one's had quite a lot of views and things. But young Aaron Wise, who made the Victor Gyökeres song, he's made one for McNally. His dad seen the post on Tuesday night, spoke to Aaron and says, quick, we need to get a song for McNally. So he's come up with this one.
McNally, 16 for City. McNally, the Irish Martini on the floor in the air. He's special and not care. McNally, 16 for City. McNally, the Irish Martini on the floor in the air. He's special and not care. McNally, McNally, McNally.
Very good.
McNally.
Very good. Fantastic.
Yeah. Hey, good, isn't it?
Be a future fan in Singers Corner, I reckon.
Absolutely.
He loves it. His dad and him are going to come on one night on a Sunday night with you, Mark. They've agreed to come on because Aaron is just fanatic. He's mental for it. He absolutely loves the football. His teachers, he gets on his teachers' nerves at school. All he wants to do is write songs or read programs or whatever. So his dad and Aaron are going to come on one weekend with you and have a little chat about how Aaron's got into the game and stuff. And he's been a little star BBC CWR as well. So he was on a couple of weeks ago. But if you didn't quite get the words are McNally, 16 for City, McNally, the Irish Maldini, on the floor or in the air, he'll smash you and not care. McNally. Brilliant.
That's a trend. Got a new chant trend. That is. I think that's got to be sung at Singers Corner maybe Saturday.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant.
I think that's going to really sound good at Blackpool.
Oh yeah, that's the place to do it. Yeah, if any. Glenn's come on. Love Aaron's song, says Glenn. Love Aaron's song, says Glenn. Cov Andy also says love that. So it's got a few followers already on the comments that are coming in. But yeah, there's no reason why you can't do that. To be fair, I think it'd be fantastic if we can get that going.
Feta D sent me one as well. He's just reminded. Cheers, Michael. I completely forgot you sent it to me, mate. So he sent one as well, but he hasn't sang it. You need to sing it, Michael. To be honest with you, but he sent me one. It's just going mad about songs now, isn't it? We could get a songbook going or whatever. We've got I don't know how the song goes, so I'm just going to read the lyrics. We've got Super Mark Robbins. He knows exactly what we need. McNally at the back, Victor in attack. City's going Premier League.
Wow, that's simple, isn't it? To the point.
Yeah,
nice and good. Straight to the point. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
But Michael, you need to record it, sing it, and send it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's remind those people that are watching and listening of the 88th minute applause, Miles, which we've got. Remember, we've got to do this, please, all fans listening and watching, for Ted Balance in the 88th minute. Sadly passed away. Avid City fan, home and away, and his family has asked us to put this up. And if you could appreciate him by applauding in the 88th minute, that would be fantastic, and it would mean so much to them if we can do that. That'd be fantastic. Also, before we wrap it up, the competition, Miles, just remind everybody about the competition. Got 2 tickets for this.
Yep. So the competition is for the legendary original Rude Boy Neville Staple from the specials, plus support from Roddy Radiation. He was in the specials as well, so you're going to get 2 specials on one night, which is going to be good. And the Scarbilly Rebels. And the question is, what was the band that Neville Staple joined after the specials? If you can email him, please do not send it on Facebook or Twitter or on this channel, because we can't get everyone's names down. We miss people. So we want you to email in at info@skybluefanstv.co.uk. That is, what was the band that Neville Staple joined after he left the specials? Send your entry into info@skybluefanstv.co.uk. I will be drawing the winner at the DW Stadium on Tuesday night when we're at Wigan. So you've got a couple of days to get it in, pass it on, and you'll win 2 tickets. I have them here.
There they are.
They will be, if you're in Coventry or Leamington or Warwick or Kenilworth and you win, we will deliver these to you by Thursday night. So you'll have these Thursday night because we're off to Blackpool on Friday. So you'll have them ready for the weekend if you can't make it to Blackpool. Also,
if you're going to Blackpool, we can give them to Blackpool.
Yeah, well, no. Well, yeah, I suppose you could if they're going to get back in time.
Away
travel. Way travel with the Sky Blue Tavern. We've got 28 seats booked so far for Wigan on Tuesday. Now, I'm amazed. We've got over 1,000 going up to that. That's phenomenal for a Tuesday night fixture up the M6 again. But you can book your travel at Sky Blue Tavern. I'll be running the coach this week. Gary's not going. So come and join me and all the Sky Blue Army. £27, you get a pint. You get bird chips before we go. We'll be leaving at 3 o'clock on the dot because we don't want to get stuck in traffic like last time, which you can't help it anyway. But yeah, get onto the Old Tavern website, book your travel. And if you're going Saturday, you're in town, you don't want to drive up to the game, get yourselves down to the tavern, get the minibus over. Cheap beer going on down at the tavern and also at Dillon's, which we didn't mention earlier on.
Yeah.
So we're a missable offer. Saturday.
Now, this is before the game. This is before the game, isn't it, Miles?
And after. So this is before the game on Saturday, 11 till 12.
Or 12.
Sky Blue Army and Carling, £1.99 a pint. Then 4:45 till 6 p.m. at Dillon's at Sky Blue Tavern. So this is at both. £1.99 a pint for Sky Blue Army and Carling. And that is on from 4:45 till 6 o'clock. Now, listen, if you buy a Sky Blue Army, a percentage of Sky Blue Army goes into the football club. If you buy Ghost Town, that goes into the football club. So you're having a good time, but also you're putting some money into Cov City, which is great.
Which is fantastic. We just, before we wrap up, we just go for a little couple of comments we've got there from Mark Reed. What do you think? 3 wins from 3 before the international break. Miles, can we do 3 wins from 3?
Do you know what? I'll be happy with 7 points, but I think if we can get through Saturday, not pick up any injuries, I think we'll go and win. We win Saturday and we don't pick up any injuries, I think we'll go and win 3 on the bounce. I think we'll do it before the international break and we'll be in the playoffs. We'll be sick.
Well, that'll be fantastic if we can. Mark, can we do it? 3 wins from 3?
We absolutely can do. But I think Saturday's the toughest game out of the 3, I would say, on paper. So if we can get a cheeky little 1-0 on Saturday, I think that sets us up nicely for Wigan. But yeah, absolutely we can do.
I think we can do it, definitely. I'm always optimistic. I definitely think we can do it. No shadow of doubt about that. Just no more injuries, please. We've got enough as it is. We can't afford any more injuries, especially Big Vic or a defender or Faz or anybody like that. We can't afford them to get any injuries between now and the end of the season. We need to keep them all fit. Kenna Tomo, well done, chaps. Great show again. Thank you very much, Kenno.
Thank you.
Mick Davenport, great show, lads. Thank you, Mick.
Thanks, Mick.
And Feta D,
Cheers,
great show, fellas. Catch you again soon. Feta, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Nicola Norman, fab show. Well done. Sky Blue Fans TV.
Hi, Nicola. Hello.
Thank you, Nick.
Cheers, Nicola. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola. And Glenn sends us a load of love hearts. Thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, that's nice, Glenn.
Well, that's it. We've all agreed on a 1-0 win, I think, haven't we?
Actually, yeah.
Which is very unusual. All of us agreeing. But there you go. We have. And we've got to keep clean sheet again. And hopefully we can. And hopefully we'll... the 2 tickets. Don't forget about the competition. And to get your entries in, please, by email only. Miles has got the tickets in his hands. We've got to be given away. They've got to go, these tickets. So we've got a few entries in. We've got more than we had in the last competition. So you got a chance.
Wouldn't take a lot. Wouldn't take a lot to beat 4, would it?
Well, the more chance you've got to win. You've got a 4-1 chance, which is good. But there's at least. I think there's probably about 15, maybe going for 20 now. I think at least in there. So, still you've got a great chance. The odds are great of you winning it. So if you can go, of course. If you're not going to Blackpool, that is. Then if you're not, then that's an ideal place to go on that Saturday. But we'll be in Blackpool, won't we, Miles? We've got to go to Wigan on Tuesday. I'll be at Wigan as well on Tuesday. I'm coming with you.
Now?
I'm coming now, yes. I'm coming.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, you booked the day off.
Yeah, I have.
Because I want games, oh, he'd be snoring on the coach. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Turn the radio it'd be good, won't it?
It'd be good, and hopefully...
Yeah, it'd be brilliant.
It'd be good, and we're all looking forward to it. So hopefully another clean sheet as well. So But the important thing is getting 3 points on Saturday against Hull. So hopefully we can do that, and we'll all be behind the Sky Blues to do that. So thanks very much for joining us, Mark.
Cheers, Ken. Thanks, Miles.
Well, you'll be
Thanks,
back.
everyone.
You'll be back. Yeah, you'll be back
Cheers,
on
Mark.
Sunday, won't you, for the show? Your show on Sunday.
Yeah, fingers crossed we're talking about a win on that, and then
all going well. Yeah.
We've got a Wigan guest on as well. So yeah, all looking forward to that.
Yeah. Miles,
I'll be live Saturday. Now, I've just got to say it's an earlier show on Saturday. It'll be 1:30 till 2 on Saturday. So slightly earlier. So tune in at 1:30 on Saturday. And if there's no traffic, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock outside the DW Stadium, and we'll announce the winner of the competition.
Yeah, live from Wigan. So that'll be fantastic. We look forward to them. And then you'll be back on Thursday, next Thursday, a week today, won't you, Miles?
Yeah, so I'll be
to black.
Yeah, it'd be all about the old seaside trip, won't it? But
yeah, absolutely.
I've just lost the message. I needed to put a message on. I've lost it.
Right. What was it about?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I can't remember. I've lost it. Carry on.
That's it. Anyway.
Oh yeah, there it was. There it was.
Go on.
Yeah, I got it. So Nation Radio said, this is a daft one. Nation Radio said, Martin says hi to everyone. Forgot his password on YouTube. Watching.
Who's watching? Oh, fair play to you, Martin. Thank you very much. But you know, write it down. Write it down. Remember it if you need to get on, because you're a regular watcher, isn't he, Martin? So you know. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks very much, Miles. Thanks, Mark. All I can say is play up Sky Blues, and let's hope for the 3 points on Saturday. Very good evening to you all.
Good evening. 3 points.
Good night.